In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the polynomial equation solver, the simultaneous equation solver that you can get on your TI calculator, and it certainly is exam legal for the IB, so I will not be removing it for the IGCSE. It's one of the very few apps that I'm not planning to wipe from calculators, so I'm going to teach you how to use it. It's really, really handy, and it's an app that brings it in line with the Casio for this sort of thing, so it's really, really handy. So it's important that you know how to use it. If you don't have it, please go to the links that I've already sent that tell you how to get it. You will need a lead for your calculator, but it's something you should definitely have on your TI-84. It kind of modernizes it in a way. So here is a quadratic equation. Solve the equation 2x squared plus 7x minus 16 equals 0. Give your answer correct to 2 decimal places, and it's saying x equals this or x equals that, and it's for 2 marks. So there's some clues in here. Give your answer to 2 decimal places kind of should make you think, well, this is a calculator question. It should also make you think it's probably unlikely to factorize. So your first port of call generally for a quadratic equation equaling 0 is try and factorize and use the null factor law. If it's telling you it wants 2 decimal places, it's probably unlikely that that's going to work. There are other options. There's use the quadratic formula, completing the square, which you probably don't know yet. There's you could use a graphical approach. You could attempt with the with the normal solver. I wouldn't recommend that, just because you're probably likely to only find one answer unless you already know quite a lot about the function, e.g. where it's crossing the axes and stuff. This polynomial solver is specifically designed to give you 2 answers and to solve things like quadratic equations, cubic equations. The other thing that's interesting is that it's only for 2 marks and it wants 2 answers. So it's got to be 1 mark per question. There's no other way that can work, which means no additional working required, which is why this really is a can you use your calculator type question. So let's get the TI ready and open up the solver. Okay, so here we have the TI. So the solver can be found in apps. Now, if you press this purple apps button, it's this PolySimult2 app. Now, you might have that already. So if it's not there, as I say, you need to try and get this thing. I have given you instructions on how to do that. It's a bit of a fiddle, but it's more than worth it because it will serve you all the way through your IGCSE and your IB. So I'm going to press enter. Enter again, and then there's 2 things. So there's a polynomial root finder, which is what we're going to use now, and there's a simultaneous equation solver, which I'll show you how to do in a separate video. So polynomial root finder, so I click on it, and now I need to pick the order of the equation. Now order means the highest power in the equation. So you can see x squared is the highest power of x, so that means it has an order of 2. It's because of that 2, not this 2. So the order is 2, which is already defaulted to 2 anyway. I wouldn't worry too much about anything else, so I'm just going to press next. So I press this button to get there. And then you can see it wants a2x squared plus a1x plus a0 equals 0. So it's a bit complicated, that, but basically think of that as kind of ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So all I need to do is put the coefficients of x squared, x, and the constant term into here in order. So the coefficient of x squared is 2, so this already says 2. If it didn't, I'd press 2 and enter. So it's 2x squared plus 7x, so a1 is 7, plus 7x, minus 16. I'm going to use a little mini minus there, 16, and now I need to click solve. So if I want to get there, I need to go here, solve, and there you go, it gives me the answer. So one of the answers there is minus 5.076033 and so on. And the other answer is 1.57603336. So I have 2 values there. I've been asked for it for 2 decimal places, or correct 2 decimal places. So that is going to be minus 5.08 and 1.58, just like that. So what I would like you to do is, using exactly the same method, using your solver, see if you can apply that to this equation here. So again, 2 decimal places, 7x squared minus 3x minus 5 equals 0.